Do you know that you can actually avoid this type of demolition from happening to you even when your building is still along the road? Do you have an idea? I will tell you how. Just keep watching this video and ensure to watch till the end. This is around Nike Lake axis. Serious demolition is currently ongoing around there. Yes, so remember that the plan is actually to dualize this road from Enugu-Onitsha expressway into NOWAS, from NOWAS down to T junction. From T junction, you pass through this area you're seeing, this Nike Lake axis, moving down to Ibagwa Nike, Obeke Nike, Ugogo Nike, till the roundabout, and then straight down to Abuja Nike, down to Opi Nsukka. All right, so that is the target. And of course, most of these buildings are actually along the road. All right, it's actually along the road, and for this development to come on board, the demolition happening now is bound to happen. It's quite unfortunate, I must say, but for development at all, anything development to come up around this Nike axis, this destruction is just bound to happen. Yeah. Like you already know, the governor has signed deal with Landmark Africa Group to revamp and reposition Nike Lake Resort. And this development you're seeing is part of the movement to ensure that that project commences immediately. That means lots of business dealings is going to happen in Enugu State, and real estate sector is of course not exclusive. Yeah, so if you want to buy land in Enugu today, this is the best time for you. Now, how do you avoid this type of demolition even when your house is built along the road? It's very simple. Some persons, they would like their house to be along the road, quite all right, but then they don't follow that due process. What is that due process? If your land is located very close to the road, definitely someday in the future there may be road dualization, just like you're seeing now. I am sure that 20 years ago, people that bought land around here never envisaged this. I am certain about that. And then they were all emphasizing on, I want the land to be along the road and all that. I mean, if they had looked at the master plan, maybe they would have avoided this. However, look at Nike Lake Resort entrance. It was also affected. Look at it. It was also affected. So if you want to erect your house and your land is along the road, please let your engineer kindly look at the state master plan. And then if the land is along the road, there is some level of meter that should be given from the road, bearing in mind that later in the future there may be dualization. Okay, so don't, because your land is along the road, you want to collect everything. There is this particular building that the fencing started from the gutter, yeah, from the drainage system. That is where the fencing started. I mean, it's very, very wrong. Even Robin stores was not left out. Look at it. Look at his fence was also pulled down. So if like you saw in that Robin store, it's just the fence that was affected. The building had enough gap. So the engineer actually tried, but then he didn't try well in the fencing. So if you had given enough meter that you ought to give from the road, no matter the dualization of whatever, it will never affect you. All right? You get that? Yeah. So let your engineer do the work, and then ensure that your building was approved properly. Do not go and bribe anybody to approve your building. go through the process of that building to be approved, so that in the future you would have no challenges. And if they are doing the work very well, the office in charge of the building approval, if they are doing the work very well, I'm sure they wouldn't approve for you to build a house very close to the road. They wouldn't, because of course they would have looked at the master plan. That is the essence of the master plan. Looked at the master plan, know that okay, this environment, being that is in an urban area, there is likelihood of some dualization later in the future. So they would be the one to tell you, okay, shift it from here, move it from here, and all that. So following the process is very, very important. Okay, yeah. So it's quite unfortunate. This area now is NOWAS axis. Okay, this is a long timber. That's timber after NOWAS axis. Right, that is this area we are seeing. This one actually happened on the 14th day of February 2025. That is on Friday. That is when the demolition around NOWAS happened, while that of Nike Lake Resort axis that you saw earlier happened today, 18th day of February 2025. I mean, it's happening right now today, 18th day of February. Yeah, so it's unfortunate, like I said earlier, that some of these demolitions and destructions had to come on board. But if you follow the process, trust me, you aren't going to be affected at all. There are some buildings that were not affected, and that's because they considered what they were supposed to consider. All right. So, but when you're trying to, you get everything, this is my land, you want everything, then this is what is bound to happen in the future. All right. Even this Access Bank in NOWAS was also affected. Look at it. Yeah, I wouldn't know about the bank itself, but the entrance was affected. So this area now is NOWAS area. This demolition happened on Friday last week, and then that of Nike Lake axis is happening currently today. Yeah, so if you have not subscribed to this channel, kindly do so immediately, and remember to turn on the notification bell as well. If you have any question or questions about cheap land for sale around this axis, call or WhatsApp me on 0803 743 5005. I am your land director. Love it, Ugoke. Thank you and God bless you.